The World Cup is a unique event, an event that takes place every 4 years. The last World Cup in this part of the world was in the last century.
That's right. The Argentina national team has now received a major shock from FIFA. Attention, because what is happening right now is truly making the World Cup situation even more heated and raising even more questions. After all the controversies that took place in the final, the complaint submitted by Argentina has now become one of the issues receiving major attention. FIFA is said to have confirmed that the World Cup matter remains under full evaluation in connection with the complaint submitted by Argentina. In other words, until a final decision regarding Argentina's complaint is officially issued, the matter surrounding the World Cup final cannot yet be considered completely settled. The match that had previously produced a champion has now once again become the center of attention because of the ongoing complaint and evaluation process. FIFA must review all the documents, evidence, match reports, refereeing decisions, and various other factors that form the basis of Argentina's objections before making a final decision. And of course, this situation raises one major question. What will actually happen to the World Cup trophy? For now, Spain is indeed the team officially recognized as the world champion after winning the final. However, if there is truly an official process still underway and FIFA is still evaluating Argentina's complaint, then the final decision on the matter remains something we have to wait for. FIFA must first complete the existing process before we can know whether the final result of the match will remain unchanged or whether it could be modified based on an official decision. This is the part that makes the situation so interesting. If FIFA ultimately determines that there are not sufficient grounds to change the result of the match, then Spain will remain the world champion, and the entire matter will come to an end with the same result as before. But if the evaluation uncovers serious violations that genuinely affected the course of the match, then FIFA would of course have to consider the consequences based on the applicable rules and its authority. And this is exactly where Argentina's complaint becomes so important. Argentina is not simply questioning the final result of the match. The complaint, according to the narrative circulating, concerns various issues that occurred throughout the World Cup final, including refereeing decisions, the application of VAR, and a number of controversial incidents that later became the subject of intense debate. Argentina is also said to have submitted evidence and various arguments that, in their view, could provide grounds for questioning the way the match was conducted. However, it is important to understand that the existence of a complaint or an evaluation process does not automatically mean that Argentina has been declared the champion. This is a very important point. As long as FIFA has not issued an official decision, we cannot say that Argentina has definitely been awarded the trophy or that Spain has definitely lost its status as champion. Everything still depends on the final decision from the authority with the power to resolve the matter. And if this process does indeed continue, then there are several scenarios that could become the focus of attention. The first scenario is that FIFA determines there are not sufficient grounds to change the result of the final. If that happens, Spain will remain the world champion, and Argentina will have to accept the decision. The second scenario is that FIFA finds serious enough violations that the result of the match must be reviewed. If such a decision is actually made, the consequences would of course be enormous. FIFA would have to determine the appropriate action based on the applicable regulations, and that decision could become one of the most controversial decisions in World Cup history. Then there is another scenario that has also been widely discussed by Argentina supporters. The possibility of a rematch between Argentina and Spain. Could a new final actually take place? In theory, such a possibility could become part of the discussion if an official decision were to determine that the previous match result could no longer be upheld. But once again, we cannot conclude that a rematch of the final is guaranteed to happen. A rematch could only become a reality if FIFA or another authorized governing body officially orders it. There is also a more extreme possibility. If the evaluation and the decision based on the applicable rules were to result in Argentina being recognized as the winner without having to play a rematch. If there were indeed a legal and regulatory basis that allowed such an outcome, then the consequences would certainly create a new chapter in World Cup history. However, all of that is still only a possibility. What truly matters right now is the official process. Argentina is said to have brought forward the complaint with various pieces of evidence and arguments. They are questioning a number of decisions made during the final, including the referee's decisions, the use of VAR, and various incidents that, according to Argentina, need to be thoroughly reviewed. And when a complaint enters an official evaluation process, every detail has to be examined. Not just one incident, but the entire sequence of events that forms the basis of the complaint. FIFA has to determine whether there were violations of the laws of the game, whether the proper procedures were followed, whether the referee's decisions were consistent with VAR protocol, and most importantly, whether all of these issues had a significant enough impact on the outcome of the match. If the answer is no, then the result of the final will remain unchanged. But if the answer is yes, then FIFA will face an extremely difficult decision. Because that decision would not only concern Argentina and Spain. It would involve FIFA's reputation, the international refereeing system, the use of VAR technology, the integrity of the match, and how world soccer handles controversies even in the biggest matches of all. Imagine if a World Cup final that had already been completed suddenly had to be reopened because of an official ruling. The impact would be enormous, not only for the players and supporters, but also for the entire structure of FIFA's competitions. That is why the development of Argentina's complaint needs to be taken very seriously. If FIFA is indeed still conducting an evaluation, then it is not yet time for anyone to claim that everything is over. Spain still holds the status of world champion based on the result of the final that was played. Argentina also cannot yet be called the new champion simply because its complaint is being processed. All of that could only change if there is an official decision stating otherwise. And of course, the public is now waiting for one thing above all. What will FIFA's final decision actually say? Will FIFA keep Spain as the world champion? Will FIFA find violations serious enough to change the result of the final? Will Argentina receive a decision in its favor? Or will FIFA make a decision that the public never expected? These possibilities make the situation even more fascinating to follow. Because in the end, it will not be rumors, social media claims, or speculation that determine who is entitled to the World Cup trophy. What will determine it is the official decision from FIFA and the governing body with the authority to resolve the matter. So, for now, we still have to wait. If FIFA's evaluation ends with a decision that there is no reason to change the result of the final, then Spain will remain the world champion. But if FIFA finds serious violations and determines that the result of the match cannot be upheld, then we could witness one of the most extraordinary changes in World Cup history. And if that decision ultimately benefits Argentina, the soccer world will witness a new chapter that perhaps no one had ever imagined before. That is why Argentina's complaint has become so important right now. The process must be respected, the evidence must be examined, and the decision must wait for the official documents. No one should get ahead of that decision. But one thing is already clear. The controversy surrounding this final is not truly over yet. The World Cup remains at the center of attention. Argentina is still waiting for a decision. Spain is still holding its status as champion based on the result of the match, and FIFA is in a position where it holds enormous influence over what happens next. Now the question goes back to you. What do you think FIFA will do? Will Spain remain the world champion? Does Argentina have a chance of receiving a decision that changes the result of the final? Or could we actually see a new final between Argentina and Spain? Write your opinion in the comments. I want to see your predictions about what FIFA's final decision will be. And of course, if you are a fan of Argentina, Lionel Messi, and want to keep following the latest developments regarding this complaint, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications, and give this video a like. Because if FIFA really does issue a major decision regarding this case, then the next development could become one of the most shocking stories in the history of world soccer. See you in the next video, and we will continue following every development involving Argentina, Spain, FIFA, and the major decision that the entire world is still waiting for.